All right, Marina, I'm so glad you were able to join me today and love to have a conversation with you about your experience. So I'm curious, how did you find me? How did you find Ascend Franchise Solutions?
Yeah, so when I first started doing research on the best way to expand, I started looking into franchising. And so I started to attend seminars, and during one of the seminars, I saw you present, and then
Okay.
you really stood out to me because of your experience and the topics that you were covering. And so that was nice. And then I would say maybe like a few months later, I looked into getting help with franchising because that's the route that I decided to go. And Gary, who I really, really look up to because I've seen so many of his videos, I've seen his just like track record of his reputation. He referred you, even though I brought up kind of like other people and agencies, he definitely referred you. And I'm like, hey, you know what? If Gary says I have to go with Marietta, I have to go with Marietta. So,
And that's Gary Penevo we're talking about from FranNet.
Yes.
Gary's a great colleague and great friend too in franchising for sure.
Yes.
So what was the problem you were challenged with? What was kind of going on for you at that time?
Yeah, for sure. So the problem was I made a decision to franchise, and I started reading all these books, articles, did all the research. And so I had like a cloud of information that I didn't know how to organize because I had no experience. I didn't know what the process was. I didn't know, the order that I'm supposed to get everything done. And when I had come across agencies, they were like $80,000 to $100,000 to hire. And as someone who's like a new business owner and who's trying to do all this, I didn't have that. Right?
Yeah, pretty overwhelming. And
yes.
I could imagine that kind of getting that kind of feedback or getting, doing the research and finding that you must have been feeling pretty, I don't want to say scared, but maybe even disappointed.
Yeah, it was definitely like I felt like I hit a brick wall after I started finding that out. And as I started even asking the agencies, like, hey, well, how do new franchisors afford your services? It was usually borrowing, like going into debt and stuff like that. And I understand that's a part of the process, but if there's a better way, which there is, and I'm also very hands-on, right? I love guidance. I want guidance, but I want to do everything myself because that's obviously like in our blood. And so this is exactly what I got.
Yeah.
So
you were ready to kind of roll up the sleeves and, get in there and start taking action.
Yeah.
So how did you know, or what was different about working with us in our service? How has it been for you? Tell me about what the experience has been for you so far.
Really great. So one of my biggest challenges, as I mentioned, is like I had like a ton of information and then I didn't know how to structure it. And the moment I realized that it was definitely the right choice to get your consulting was I think during our first implementation, when we sat down and then you kind of structured everything step by step, and my anxiety just left. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm concentrating on today. I know this is the end result we're going to get to, but today we're going to work on this implementation. And so I started doing it. Obviously, as someone who's new, who's never done it, I had so many questions. And during the implementation, as I was creating it, you were there to guide me, right, with whatever questions I had. And I'm like, man, I wish I could have Marietta by my side all the time. Whenever I have a question in life.
So
that was really great.
Yeah, you were really, you kind of go out of that, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, right? Like that you can do this and that, there's someone to kind of help you through it, to guide you the step by step. And one of my favorite sayings is, how do you eat an elephant? That one bite at a time, right? One step at a time. Let's get it in place. So tell us what your business looks like today. Like what's changed? What's going on?
Yeah, for sure. So the process of getting it up to become like a franchise has been pretty well. I would say it's very structured. I feel like I'm getting things done. I'm not going back and forth trying to figure out, what to do next.
Right.
It's been easier, like I can sleep at night because I'm like, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And as we're kind of like doing consulting, I'm thinking about things that I never thought about, right?
Right.
Like, so my brain like starts lighting off like, oh, you're right. Like, you're right about this. And that can only come from experience, right? And so, and even like many people say, and many successful people say that you need a mentor and a coach. And I'm a true believer in that because like no one's done it on their own, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know my story around coaching. I always have at least one or two coaches that I'm working with at a time, and it's to your point. Growth sucks cash. You have to reinvest in your business in order to get what got you here today is not what's gonna get you to the next level, and you're ready to go to the next level, right? Like you're putting in the time, you're putting in the effort, you're building the system, and you're creating something that will be of value to your future franchisees. They are going to see you as a subject matter expert. They're going to want to engage with you. And that's really, we want you to have a happy, profitable franchise system. And, we've been working through the Franchisor Blueprint Experience for a few months now. And, you're doing that. Like that's where you're on that path, that trajectory of being able to be a confident, strong franchisor. How does that feel?
Yes. I feel like it hit a point where I'm like super confident about it, where all the small little gaps in my knowledge and experience, like you definitely helped me close those, right? And that alone, like took away my anxiety about the entire process. So like right now, more than ever, like I feel super like confident about it. I'm like, I got it. Like this is it. This is the final thing. Now I just have to like finish the paperwork and finish this, like everything. But I'm pretty happy. Very happy. Yeah.
Yeah, you're on the way, right? Like you know what you need to do. You're in the process. You're in the final stretch of kind of getting there. So congratulations. I'm so excited we get to work together. And I can't wait to see what happens with Cadmen down the road. And if we're talking, 5 years, a year from now and to see where you are. So thanks for spending some time with me today, Marina. I just can't wait to see what happens for you. Thank you.
Anytime. Anything for you. Forever.
Thank you. Thank you. That's so sweet. All right. If you want to learn more about the Franchisor Blueprint Experience, just reach out to me. My name is Marietta. You can reach me at marietta@ascendfranchise.com, or you can give me a call, 519-212-0309. I look forward to hearing about you and your adventures in scaling your business.